Africa has been blessed by so many iconic musicians, both dead and alive. From names like Fela Anikulapo Kuti of Nigeria or Branda Fassie of South Africa, to even the current heavyweights like Wizkid, Davido, Burna Boy, Nasty C, the list goes on. One thing common about all the aforementioned names is the body of work which they put out over the years that earned them that recognition. And despite all they have contributed to the music industry, some are yet to be properly rewarded in silverware. But what if an unknown artist just pops out from nowhere with a single hit and all of a sudden dominates the whole planet and wins all awards there is? Today, I'll be talking about probably the biggest industry plants to have ever emerged from Africa. Before we start, it's only appropriate to give a clear definition of what or who an industry plant is. An industry plant is largely accepted to mean an artist who present themselves as being independent and doing things in their own terms, but secretly has the industry backing and money to fund them and to artificially shape a narrative. This leads us to the subject matter of this documentary, Tyla. Tyla Laura Shital, 22 years of age, is a South African singer and songwriter with the widely popular 2023 hit single, Water. Born and raised in Johannesburg to a colored family with Indian, Mauritian, Zulu, Irish ancestry. Her musical resume is rather slim, as she only dropped her first official single named Getting Laid in 2019, and after she graduated from high school the same year. But after that track went viral, she got all labels knocking on her door. But she finally signed with Epic Records in 2021. Note that during this time, it was just a small number of South Africans that were really into her music. And also, she got her label deal from releasing just one single. Then in 2023 came her biggest hit till date, Water, currently sitting at over 55 million views on YouTube, and it has over 700 million streams on Spotify. Water was only her 6th track, but this skyrocketed her prominence all over the world as it became a TikTok challenge. And everybody knows now that TikTok challenges is one of the easiest ways to make a music trend or go viral. Looking at this much success, most people then felt like she hadn't done that much to be this rewarded. But is that true?
Really young. When did that love of music first become real for you?
Literally always loved music, always would just make songs, perform for people. But professionally, my last year of high school is when I actually recorded properly in front of a mic and started making my own music, you know? And that was every weekend, just trying new things. And I ended up making Getting Late, my first song ever. And that kind of kickstarted everything else.
Tyla has been into singing since she was pretty young. There are even footage on her YouTube going back as far as 2013. That is 11 years ago, when she sang Fall by Justin Bieber, and her voice has always been on another level.
Hey, I'm Tyla Cecil. I'm 11 years old and I'm going to be singing Fall by Justin Bieber. Well, let me tell you a story about a girl and a boy. He fell in love with his best friend, which is a rarely feel.
She was always very dedicated to the craft, but never really had a real opportunity because of high school. So the moment she graduated from high school, she told her parents that she was going all in on chasing her dreams. It was even said that her parents gave her just about 1 year to try out doing music, and if it wasn't working, she would have to go back to school and have a college degree in marine engineering. But this wouldn't happen, as her career grew even faster than she expected. She was an overnight sensation in all its sense. With all this popularity came so much exposure. She started receiving brand deals, calls to big interviews all over the world. She even got an invitation to go on tour with Chris Brown. All these events gave her more popularity in the US market. The volatility of her career brought about some unforeseen events in her life, like when she referred to herself as a colored South African. This generated so much issues, as many Americans saw this as her rejecting the black race while trying to sell her craft to them at the same time. In her defense, she never thought a statement like that could be that sensitive, because it was a normal term used in South Africa to describe someone with mixed origin as her. In order to clear the air, she posted on her page to address the issue. Never denied my blackness. I don't know where that came from. I am mixed with Black, Zulu, Irish, Mauritian, Indian, and colored. In South Africa, I'll be classified as colored woman, and other places I'll be classified as Black. Race is classified differently in different parts of the world.
I mean, like, in South Africa, my race is called colored, and it's a very stressful term to use in America because I know it's a derogatory term.
Right.
But I mean, that's what we are called in South Africa.
For this reason, her label didn't want her to answer questions of such nature anymore in interviews. And when artists shy away from answering questions about stuffs that their fans would like to know, it always brought up the whole talk of the artist not being original and being spoon-fed the industry plans. She went on the Breakfast Club radio show in the US and didn't want to answer some questions. Charlemagne the God even said they were given a list of questions not to ask her.
Yeah.
School me on these debates that they be having about your identity as a South African colored person. What does that even mean?
Can we not? Por favor.
Oh, I like that. We keeping that in the interview too.
Shut up, man.
I like when they talk from the back and say we can't. I like that. I like that. That's good. That's even better.
Next one, please.
That's even better. The thing about the label, this is what I want to say so everybody knows. Labels always will come and say, hey, can you not ask this? Can you not ask that? Sometimes, depending what it is, like if it's something like really personal, really serious, something I know is traumatizing, I'll be like, sure, I'll oblige. For this one, I said no.
Yeah.
And the reason I said no, they had 6 things they didn't want us to ask. You want to know what those 6 things were?
Yeah.
They didn't want us to ask about Kai Cenat, the whole "we friends" though thing. Right?
Yeah.
Like, huh?
Okay.
They didn't want us to ask about her not being on tour with Chris Brown anymore. They didn't want us to ask about the color thing.
Injury.
They didn't want us to ask about her injury that she sustained. What else was it? They didn't want to ask us about who she was dating, which I wouldn't do anyway. And what was the other one? It was one it was just all frivolous
And
stuff.
why? What?
Comparing.
Oh yeah, and comparison, and it wasn't even Rihanna. It just said comparisons to other pop artists. Huh?
Oh, so they're trying to separate.
Back to her 2023 Water track, she was nominated for Grammys for the Best African Performance in the category where other artists like Ashake singing Amapiano, Burna Boy, City, Davido's Unavailable, and Ayastar's Rush. For most music lovers in Africa, Tyla was the least expected to win, most especially Nigerians. These other artists on this list are all more established with a stronger fan base, and for most, Davido was the favorite to win this Grammy because after his album released, Timeless, it generated so much traffic. With Burna Boy winning the Grammy a year earlier, most felt Davido deserved this more. But to the shock of all Nigerians, most Africans, Tyla won the Grammys on her first active year of really making music. All this further drove the narrative of why she was so prominent despite not having that much popularity.
She's an industry plant. It's common. You came from nowhere. And so is the other girl, give me sweat, whatever, make me high.
Not Tyla. Come on, that sounds like just a little bitty girl who just they wrote some songs for. And damn, not Tyla.
Plants. Give her, watch this. What's this? March, February next year, Cold-Blooded Freak.
Damn.
Turned all the way out. Watch. One song gave you a Grammy, but you got people like Angie Stone that been around since I was 10 years old being a rapper, never got one.
Hey.
How's that possible? You walk right in, the song's still on the fucking radio hot, you got a Grammy. How do you do that?
That's true.
How did you get that? How did they even do a audit on it or what you call it? Where you no, you can't.
Yeah,
that's
you're
crazy.
Right. So industry plants exist.
I just named two.
A user on Reddit documented so much reasons on why Tyla's content could be pushed by the powers that be. Even a popular South African podcaster, Mark G, downplays Tyla's talents in singing, and he feels like her success is as a result of good management only by her record label.
But shout out to Tyla's team, man. What they're doing with Tyla's amazing.
It's crazy, right?
That
Like
team
that's
is insane.
Oh, that is just
Like imagine they're working with someone who was really talented, like what they could do. You know what I mean?
No, Tyler could sing.
Hey, my guy.
Truth or dare?
My guy.
No, I'm not like hating. I'm saying like imagine they worked with like a Misaki, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
Now in May of 2024, Tyla cancelled her North American tour and Coachella performance due to an injury she was suffering from. Her team put out a press statement on her socials where they stated the reasons for her cancellation, where it states, "For the past year, I've been silently suffering with an injury that has tragically worsened. I have seen doctors and specialists with high hopes, but the pain has only become more agonizing, as has the severity of the situation. I am absolutely heartbroken to have to say this, but as of right now, I won't be able to proceed with the tour." In consulting with medical professionals, it became increasingly clear that continuing any festival or tour dates would jeopardize my long-term health and safety. She then went ahead to say, "For the North American headline dates, your ticket will automatically be refunded. For all other territories, you will be contacted by your ticket provider." According to her, the pains were becoming worse, so she had to listen to her medical team and take a break. She even had to refund money from tickets sold already. There were also claims that she had to use the injury plea as a stunt to distract people from the fact that she had a low ticket sales. The claims could be true because people had issues with the fact that she wouldn't be able to give a very enjoyable performance when she had only 2 popular songs to perform. Artists like Wizkid, Rema, Davido, and Burna Boy had hits to last a whole night, so people weren't ready to spend money and not have maximum enjoyment. A Twitter user said, "It's not only an issue with big machines, but I believe her team thought she wouldn't have enough demands to sell concert tickets outside of the Anglosphere and Japan." Tyla just released her debut studio album, Tyla, which debuted at number 24 of the US Billboard, selling over 24,000 units on its first week. This making her the biggest female African soloist to ever chart at the US Billboard history. This isn't a small feat for an upcoming artist, if you will still call her that at this point. The fact that she's getting this much recognition, record label. But I bet if he had the same record label as Tyla, he wouldn't have had to do that. Though so many people have already made up their mind on hating on the young artists, all I can see is sometimes hard work is not just enough. You need the right people to back you and your process. Teamwork makes the dream work.